this one together and use the special meeting one instead of regular.
Any questions? Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as corrected?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed the same? Motion carries. And public hearing on the high school roof project.
Been working with a company called Garland and architectural firm out of Cedar Rapids on replacing a portion of the roof on the high school. The portions that we're looking at equal about 21,000 square feet. When Dennis with Garland and I first started looking at this project, Dennis estimated that we'd be looking at about $300,000, which is roughly $15 a square foot. We had a pre-bid meeting on, I think it was on the 1st. Bids were due last Friday, or Thursday the 9th. We got 5 bids. Bids from Service Roofing, Schwickert's Tecta America, Advanced Builders, Cedar Service Company, and Midwest Roofing. The actual square footage at $15 a foot would have come out to about $315,000 with what it was measured at when the companies went up there and did their actual measuring. Midwest Roofing had the best bid at $294,800, which is about $20,000 less than the $15 a square foot if we do the whole thing instead of the three places. I did do some checking on them, talked to Dennis a little bit because Dennis has done a lot of re-roof jobs in the area. Midwest Roofing is very good to work with, very responsive. The best thing about them is that they're out of Mason City. The other companies, the closest were Cedar Rapids and Rochester, Minnesota. The material that we're looking at doing this with is a modified bitumen roof. Basically, it goes down in layers. It's kind of like shingles. It can be done either mopped on hot or rolled out cold. It's thicker, heavier duty, and longer lasting than a rubber roof. I think it's the right way to do a rubber roof. Would be less expensive. But that's what we're dealing with right now. It's only about 12 years old, and we got some really bad spots. You two were up there with me last fall, and especially around the skylight down there is really bad. That's kind of what we're looking at. Did I miss anything? I think that's about all there is to it. It was advertised in the paper for 2 weeks like we were supposed to. They advertised the hearing. I do want to note that with bidding projects here on July 1st, some of the things are going to change with that, how we advertise, and that we have to go to a nationwide bidding room and stuff now, so that'll be interesting, but usually the architects take care of that. So this one was actually sent to one of those, and I did have we had 4 companies show up for the pre-bid conference, so to get that 5th bid was kind of nice. I thought for a little bit that we might get a 6th bid. The architect and Dennis from Garland were both really surprised that we had 4 companies show up for the pre-bid. They thought we might only have 2 show up. So Midwest Roofing spoke to Dennis after the bids came in, and they did say that they bid it aggressively because they really wanted the job. So I guess we're open for questions.
Do you know where they get their materials from?
Most likely they'll probably come from Garland Industries. That's where a lot of the bitumen roof comes from. I did talk to the guys at Modern Builders that we've been working with on a lot of stuff, and they said it's probably one of the best roofs that you can put on as far as flat roofs go. They wanted to bid putting a metal roof on like we have in Allison, but I think we'd have been looking at quite a bit more expensive because then you're dealing with all the framing and all that to go with it. And then the way this building's been built in different sections, you'd have a lot of valleys and stuff, and that'd lead to more leaks too. So.
Is there a warranty on this?
Yeah, it's 30 years.
A 30-year?
Yep.
And they'd be able to get it done this summer? Or not?
It depends on their schedule. It might run into school in the fall. We had the conversation at the pre-bid conference that if it did run into school in the fall, that anybody was on the job would have to have a full background check done, and that they would have to stage and work around our entrances and stuff. So
None of the companies had like a specific deadline that they would have it done by
No,
XYZ.
no, just because we're bidding so late, we're kinda working on their schedules.
So what are you doing at what part of the school?
Basically, it's the academic portion over here, from this end down around the art room and down the main entryway.
The whole width then?
Yes, just of that portion. And then
Good.
and the other portions we'll do in other years.
You got a drawing of what you're doing or anything?
I don't have a drawing, Paul, they never sent it to me.
You never presented them with one either?
They had one that they presented to the companies, they didn't email it to me.
You're saying it's how many square feet?
About 21,000.
Life expectancy of the new roof is what?
30 years.
And what was the old one?
Rubber's anywhere from 10 to 15.
That come out of the Pebble,
Butler 1 cent
so when does that money get,
every month.
go back in? You get money in that fund every month?
Yeah.
It's like, so how much comes in every month then?
Oh, the 1 cent local option tax, we get anywhere from $46,000 to $50,000 a month, depending on the time of year and the revenues, obviously. And PEPL, we get that two big sums, you know, when property taxes are paid. We get it the month after property taxes are due. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's,
I had it
I
written
can
down,
look
but I
though,
didn't
just a
print it.
second, let me look.
Cause you said it's, what did they bid? Around 315 after the fact?
No, their final, it would have been about 315 total
Okay,
at the $15 a square foot, but they brought it at 294.
okay, so that's the, okay.
Yep.
Because like last meeting, right, in the general fund, or in the Pebble funders, I have $545,000. So that would,
Right around there in the PEPL fund, and then
Right.
the 1 cent sales tax was like 246,
189.
something like that, so.
Next year, we'll be getting $248,000 in the PEPL. Is that right?
So what's your balance that's gonna be paid out of fiscal 16 and 15 budget then, or
It'll,
be paid yet this June, before June the 30th?
no,
Fiscal
they
year?
won't be paid till they start it.
Okay. So it'll come out of 17 and 18's
It'll
budget?
come, yeah, it'll come out of 17, yeah. 16's done at the end of the month here, and then 17 starts July 1st, so it'll be a fiscal 17 expense.
And your grand total for that usually is what, between the PEPL and the Moss fund?
It looks like the silo fund had a revenue this year, 686,093. And the PEPL had 274,972. So that would be
So I have
about
it
a
somewhere. Hold on.
million dollars.
Our yearly revenue,
I mean, believe me, we're not thrilled to put a new roof on here. This is a new
our
building.
revenue's about $830,000.
You know what I mean? This is a newer
No, I
building.
just-
So I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not very happy that we have to do it either.
None of these companies are the ones that did the roof.
No, not that. I have no idea who did the roof in the original project.
Well, if the life expectancy was that,
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. You know, it
Warranties
was
on
a little
rubber
bit
roof
less
back
money, I think,
around
when it
the
was
time this was
built.
done were probably 10 years.
it's a good company.
So, I mean, if you're gonna do a roof, you might as well
If
have
we're
the
doing it, we
roof.
need to do it right.
Right.
I'm just asking questions.
No, I mean, I'm just, but I mean, I'm the same way. I was like, wow, this building's new.
You know, and if we
You
don't
know.
do something, we're gonna have more damage than we already have from where it's been leaking,
But
especially out
are
of
you,
West
you're
Scott.
still gonna fix the roof in Allison too, right? That's gonna
Yeah.
get taken care of?
Yeah,
'Cause that's been almost a year since that was leaking over there, right?
but those leaks are minor compared to some of this.
Minimal.
And those have been addressed,
Oh, okay.
so. Not that it's not gonna leak again, because what's happening over in Allison right now is that, over time, the adhesive's starting to fail. So it sits in the sun and bakes, and then after a while it cracks, so.
Is our plan with that building to reseal that whole roof
I'm
sometime?
working on it.
Okay.
I mean, if we could put a metal roof on here, it'd be great, you know, but we can't afford all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, 30 years will be better than.
I mean, yeah,
10,
I'd rather do that than a
15,
10,
but-
15.
You know, and the new gym here has the same type of roof on it, and it still looks new, and I have no idea when that was put on there.
70s, right?
So
Or the roof, has it been
The
rebuilt
roof.
since it was built?
I have no idea, and it's in really good shape yet. Did we go up there when you were up there? I don't think we did.
We went towards the
Was it-
old gym.
Yeah.
Because that one
Yeah.
was in
Yeah.
need,
Yeah,
but
that-
not as bad.
it's
It's
in
not
really good
leaking
shape,
or.
so. Any other questions?
So on the Midwest roofing, that's one you're looking at, and that, you have heard other reviews that they've done good jobs?
Yes, yep.
And they're out of Mason?
They're out of Mason City, and they've worked for a lot of other school districts in the area.
Okay.
They weren't worried about the skylight. Are we doing anything with the skylight, around the
Just back-
skylight?
just-
Because that's where, kind of
just-
where the major.
They'll just
or
make sure
more-
they seal it well and
Okay,
flash the way it needs flashed. There are some places where they're gonna have to cut back the synthetic stucco because that detail wasn't done right when they built it. It needs to be cut up, so it's sealed up the wall instead of just run underneath. There'll be several places where they fix that, mostly right around the main entryway.
And the FCS, that leaks also, is that included in this?
No.
Fix?
No, but Mark's working on that also. Some of that, we're not sure if it's not blowing back up the pipes with the wind blowing water around up there. There's some, basically they look like candy canes on the vents. And I think they need some sort of a hood on them to keep the water from blowing back up them. There may be some leaks around it, but those are pretty easy fixes right now. There's also a leak over this room back here right now that I just found out about the other day too. So. But that's a matter of, over here, we're gonna have to move a bunch of gravel to get to it.
this new roof won't have gravel, right?
No, it'll have like an aggregate on top of it, but it won't have gravel and it won't be weighted down. It's a fully adhered system.
Okay,
It'll feel more like shingles when it's done.
so is it the same, like if you do get an area that something happens, it's like you just repair that one little spot, like a shingle, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, but it's a lot easier to repair, but it's a lot harder to puncture than rubber too.
Okay.
Are we gonna have the same problem like Allison though, where it's gonna get hot and crack?
No,
Oh, because that's
Is that different?
It's metal.
no,
different roof.
no. This is more of a tar based, so if it gets hot, it'll get maybe a little bit gooey and actually fill some of the spaces in.
Okay.
Any other questions on the roofing project?
I do. Did you approach them about the other things that you're gonna do too? And get a big package deal maybe?
Not at this time. We've talked about when we get ready to do the other parts of the roof, because these people are familiar with it, that we'll have them draw up the plans and stuff. But right now, the only other projects that we're really gonna have going will be looking at the roof down there and resealing that, as far as major projects.
And those they give you a better deal, knowing they have to go.
No, because it's a completely different thing. So, then we gotta make sure that we don't overstep our funds either.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on.
Okay, close it.
Yeah.
Was it- Oh, just close it? Okay. Close the hearing.
6:45.
And then we need to have the board minutes from last time to
Yep.
approve those.
You voted them, right?
Which one do you wanna start with?
Start with May 9th, regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. And the financial report.
What we need to approve May 24th special meeting.
Oh, separately.
We had to do them separately.
We always do them together.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, cause, sorry, I need to make changes to the May 9th one then,
Okay, May 9th?
24th, the special meeting.
Okay.
Just the wording on it where it says the yays and the nays, because it looks like I said no to Shaylin Lar, which I didn't say no to him, I just said no to Kelly.
But you can't pick and choose, it's just one motion, you can't. I think you have to say it's, I guess that's how I understand it.
It's all or none,
Oh,
the way that we did it that night, because we did them all together.
Because we'd have to approve each
oh well, I
separate.
said it separately.
But I think the motion was together.
As a
Yeah.
group.
Yep,
The motion was made us to approve both of them,
yep.
Okay.
or not to approve them. We're ready to move.
Yeah, because we just have one line item for it, so.
We ready to move on? With the financial?
I think so.
We have to approve those, don't we?
Yeah.
That
Do it.
special meeting?
Do it separately.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do a separate one for the meetings, and then it's a
Yeah.
other one.
So that first one was for May 9th,
Yep.
okay?
And then a motion to approve the minutes of the May 24th special meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Okay, the financial report.
Okay, while you guys looking through the bills, we have a cash balance in the general fund of just over 1.6 million. Pepla has a balance of 506,258. 1 cent sales tax has a cash balance of 249,000. Debt service has cash balance of $2,752.20. Management is at $224,347. Nutrition, $107,576. Activity, $146,140. And the trust and agency, $42,649. And June general fund, through the end of May, we'd spent about 82.3% of our budget, or about $5.35 million.
Through when?
The end of May.
So you're you're under.
Yep, we're well ahead of where we were last year at this point. It's like $380,000 or something like that.
Any questions on the financial reports?
I did. We bought a John Deere Gator
We did,
for,
for use in the facilities and
What-
grounds. With the work that we'd done at the athletic complex, it was really difficult to move garbage cans around. So it's actually something we've been looking at for quite a while, and we'd talk to John at John Deere about finding something that wouldn't be too expensive for us. So we've used it, we'll use it for track meets for hauling hurdles and stuff, we'll use it for hauling garbage cans. We'll use it for football games, for hauling equipment out, and be able to use it to haul anybody that gets hurt off the football field. We used it the other night at the baseball field to haul bricks out to set on the tarps when the back weather got bad. Otherwise, you'd have to have kids hauling those things out.
what did we use before, I guess?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So they had to haul all that stuff by hand.
Should that have come to the board for approval?
No. That was only $4,200. $4,250.
What is the speakers, the outside speakers?
That was for the baseball field. Mr. Huff was worried that we were going to damage the ones that we had, moving them back and forth from the football field to the baseball field.
Are those portable or they're just,
They, well, they're not meant to be, but we were using them that way.
Okay.
They're bolted to the poles. Lucas, don't leave tonight without talking to me either about lightning.
And the rock,
That was the park, that would have been the parking lot down here at the athletic complex.
I don't have any other questions.
No other questions?
One thing that you'll notice, if you look at the general fund report, is that salaries for May were about $110,000 higher than they were for April. That's because we paid out the Spanish teacher leaving, we paid her out, and there was, we paid out some of the associates and stuff, instead of having to run a May payroll for 1 or 2 days, we paid them, right?
No,
No,
this was $1,000.
oh, that's right, we took the extra $1,000 out of the teacher salary supplement money and gave it to all the teachers that month. So that's about
Raised it.
$60,000 right there in itself, or $70,000. But that's the teacher's money, not our money. And it's meant to be distributed. We're only meant to save about 10% back in case there's, we get new teachers in, or that there's another cut across the board like the governor did a few years back.
Can I get a motion to approve the financial report?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Public items of discussion. Nothing? Okay. Board items of discussion?
Next Tuesday, as of right now, we're looking at scheduling a special meeting. We have some things that we need to go through that I couldn't get on the agenda tonight because of timing and stuff. One of those things that we'll look at is superintendent evaluation. The first sheet that I handed out is the Iowa Standards for School Leaders, and that's what SAI, ISB, and the DE say that we're supposed to be judged on. The second sheet is the evaluation form that we'll use, and basically it'll go, what will happen is we'll go into closed session, and we'll sit down and I'll walk through my thoughts on it, and then we'll discuss each one standard at a time. The standards themselves are kind of difficult. So what we did last year is each of these guys took them and they kind of took it and broke it down and took all the things under each standard and broke them down into 1 or 2 sentences that are kind of make more sense to them. Because even as I read through some of that garbage, it's difficult to understand. So if you take some time and do that and then bring that with you, and then we can answer questions about that too. Because it's a lot of educational rigmarole put in there and jargon. So if you have any questions on it during the week, email me. But other than that, we'll plan on meeting next Tuesday night, and we'll go through that, and then some other things we'll talk about in a little while when we get to
I won't be able to make it next Tuesday.
I'm in, yeah, Tuesday's
I-
bad.
I
Okay.
have fair and then I gotta go to a baseball game.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Absolutely, they
I'm just
work
saying
next
I won't be
week,
here,
too.
so everybody else can come.
What time?
Monday won't work.
6:30.
I have a board meeting.
She's got a board meeting Monday.
Well, Thursday and Friday's fair. Not missing that.
Yeah, I have fair pretty much all next week.
I'm gonna be gone the
so-
whole next week, so. Oh yeah, that's at Floyd County Fair, isn't it?
It's Butler County Fair.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Never mind.
Saturday
My
or
weeks are all
Sunday?
tied together here.
No.
Um,
did you
Is
say?
Saturday or
Okay.
Sunday?
That next, can you do that next week or not? Or is that too late?
He's gone.
We have to do it
gonna
before
do it.
June 30th.
Well, we don't have to.
We
that's
don't
just-
have to.
You mean
It
for
just,
you?
it just needs to be done.
Or for the other stuff
It
that's
just
gonna
needs
be
to
on the
done before
meeting?
the school year starts, basically. It's supposed to be done once each school year.
Are you saying for you or for the
I
other
thought-
stuff that needs to be discussed?
For him.
But,
For me.
okay,
Eric will be back Wednesday, so I'll talk to him and we'll try to find a date that'll work for everybody. So I'm gonna, cause I'm gonna be gone the whole next week. I'm gonna take that week off,
the 4th week,
the week before.
I'm going to.
I would have switched my board meeting around had I known a little bit earlier, but we have a public hearing
Yeah.
that night too, so we can't switch our meeting in Clarksville.
We'll figure it out.
Was there a goal, like, did you have a goal last year for this year?
I'm working on financial stuff,
Okay.
improving the financials and continuing to learn about that.
Are you talking about for this?
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't.
Anything else on the board?
Nope.
Nope.
I can look back.
Approve the bid for the high school roof project. Do you have any more questions or comments on that?
I don't think I do.
If we look through where I've started putting the list of projects together, I had this put in at $300,000, laptops, resealing the elementary roof, cut pointing repairs, which we know what that cost is already, the drainage in Allison, we're not sure yet. Handicap accessibility, sidewalks, we know what they're gonna be. I've made some contact with the company about key fob entry systems for a door in each building. And then the Chromebooks, you know, over a 5-year period with the bus lease and everything else, we're still only looking at just over $2 million in expenditures with revenues over $4 million. So we're still okay as far as that goes over the next 5-year period.
Everybody run.
Practice, fire, drill, alarm system.
So you're saying this roofing though, we'll be able to do some of I mean,
Yes.
we need to get that water fixed in Allison,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's an
You know,
issue with the
and
flooding.
I know when I
right?
got here, we had over $1.5 million in our infrastructure funds, but it's not meant to sit.
No, I get
It's meant
that.
to fix up our stuff, you know, and as long as we maintain a balance over about $250,000 in that fund, so that if we had a boiler break or something like that, you know, I think we're okay. So, you know,
That's a good
boilers
But
gonna
the
run.
drainage
50.
project, didn't we
Yeah,
already
probably.
approve that to be done or?
No, we approved putting it out for bids.
Oh,
And they've
okay.
not put it out for bids yet, and I'm not sure why they haven't done that,
Oh,
so. And because of some other
I think
things
that'll be a pain.
between.
cause that's through who? Where do
That we've been working with Modern Builders on.
okay,
So-
that should be
And
a
they were the
really
same
big
ones that I was
priority
working on
right now.
the roof down there with, so.
While they're
They
not in
put out the
school.
bids?
They were going to, yes.
Oh.
They just haven't done it yet, I don't think.
All right.
I like the Midwest, for the roof bid, cause they are more local, the other one's Cedar Rapids, and the other one, 2 of them were Cedar Rapids, one was Stewartville, and with a good reputation, and the price is one of the best out of all the bids. So I would make a motion to approve the, roof bid from Midwest.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
I think that on a project
Oh.
like this, we should
Probably have a roll call.
Roll call, just a second,
Just because of the amount.
yeah. Laura,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
thank you.
Approve everyday math.
The everyday math is just, it's consumables for the math program. There really isn't a textbook, so this is what the teachers use for their classrooms.
You're saying like worksheets? What is consumables?
But it's a workbook,
Okay.
basically.
It's digital.
Oh, okay.
But it's, because of the cost, we can't do it. It's $8,200. So I would recommend that we go ahead and approve the everyday math curriculum at $8,202.40.
Is that for what grade?
It's K6.
K6?
The letters are too small, I couldn't read it.
Okay. And you like that program? Okay.
And it's their online access.
A motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the everyday math.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Approve the Chromebook purchase.
We brought this back, and we talked about it before. A couple of board members had asked for a rotation on our technology. We put that together, and it was attached to the board agenda for this month, or the board site for this month. Heather got an updated quote for us. It's $43,457.75. I would recommend that we go ahead and approve that.
What are we doing with the old ones? Or they're just,
This would be for first through fourth grades.
right now they're sharing
Right now,
iPads?
they're sharing iPads. And then this would allow us to,
And that's with this math program? Are they using it with this math program?
I would say just the feedback that I'm getting from teachers, and Mr. Foster did attach a summary of what the feedback that I'm getting from teachers, that they're really requesting that students have a keyboard so they can do a lot more of the writing tasks that they would like to do with the students. It's pretty hard for the little ones to type on the iPad. So that's where that's coming from. If we're gonna replace iPads, these are less expensive and can do more of what they like to be able to do in the classroom. So if you can't afford it this year, we understand, but it's something we'd like to do soon, in the future.
And what fund would that for
That's a
those?
big
then
amount.
we
50,000. Well, I have this because we approved this stuff, so we
We
had,
approved one cycle already, right?
Yeah.
we spent like 51,245, and then we have some of these others, these MacBooks we've already approved at another 50,000, so we're looking at 134,654 for computer stuff. Then you have to add, we have Lexia Reading, which is every year, 4,000, and this everyday math is a yearly thing, so that's 8202
Every year.
every year. Both of these are every year. But you said our budget or our money right now is, I can't remember because I didn't write it down. It's
How much
like,
percentage of the day are they using those ish?
I haven't
I know it's probably
updated
different every day.
our
What are you
current
thinking?
time, but
Are they doing half a day, third of a day?
That's the expenditures. I haven't updated the balances this month.
I'm sure it depends where you're at in the,
Yeah, it varies. It varies on what projects they're working on and who the teacher is and how they're using it.
if there was only 2 grades, is that something we could get by with this year? I mean, just say fourth, third, I'm assuming would be, I don't know, I mean, I'm shooting.
I know that anything they can do to work towards that goal it would be much appreciated.
And then that would allow us to adjust the things that we already have and move them down.
and I was thinking some of these replacement iPads, would we not necessarily have to do that if we're using more of the Chromebooks? Then we can kind of get rid of some of the iPads. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, technology is what we're
Yeah,
striving
I'm all
for
that,
this
As long as we,
for
Have
the
the money for
students,
it.
but yeah, we have $300,000 on the roof. And that's-
Then we'd already approved quite a bit of
and we did-
technology.
yeah, so I mean, I don't feel like we haven't done anything this year.
Right.
We kept,
We did
Can
the
we
5th and
sell
6th
those
grade
iPads,
Chromebooks
maybe?
and.
Yes, yep, we'll get to that.
Oh, sorry.
That's down the line here.
Can I just ask a quick question about the math program? Was it last summer the state comes out with like how schools did it within the state with math and reading, right? That like last
Yeah.
July or August or something
Yeah.
at one of the meetings?
Yep.
And were we not, our curriculum for math was behind, correct?
No, reading
There was
was.
something. that
Reading was.
reading.
Reading, where is our math at then? Because I was under the impression that we're not up to date with other school districts in our area with math. So I was just wondering if this
No, a lot
math thing.
of the schools in our area are using the same math program that we
It's the
are.
same,
There's only about 3 different math programs in the state now, I think, that people are using.
I was just wondering, that's
You know,
all.
and we're actually one of the few schools around that aren't a school in need of assistance for either reading or math. But our reading curriculum was 13 years old before we adopt.
Well,
a
when you
new
brought
one,
that up,
so,
I
yeah.
just remembered the meeting
Yep.
from last year, so I didn't know
Yep.
where we were.
No,
sitting,
it
'cause
was
I
the
thought
reading
it
that was
like-
really bad.
We score really high in college and career readiness and
Yep.
Okay,
that.
then that's what it was, okay. Couldn't remember which one it was.
And this math is not a change in what we've done before. The reason it has not been board approved before is because each grade level ordered it individually. And this year we compiled the order as an elementary in one, putting it over the amount that the board had to approve it. So it's the same curriculum that we've been using. We updated last year to the new.
That's what it was an update.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
now that-
updated it because they had a new,
Oh, yeah.
they updated their system, and if you updated it last year, you could get free teachers manuals
Yeah.
and
That's what
stuff.
it was, yeah.
But it was cheaper to update than it was to not update. It was
Yep.
cheaper to get the new curriculum materials than it was to get the old ones. But it was a change, so we had it approved.
Right, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how many iPads do we have right now? What grades are using them?
That's a better question.
We have 7 carts of iPads. 4 of them are an older model. 3 of them are a newer model. So it would make sense to me to start phasing those old 4 carts out. They're the ones with the big connector on the end. I think they were probably purchased 5 years ago. And then using the other 3 carts for kindergarten and first grade.
So right now is the 2nd through 4th grade, they're using the iPads?
Second, the kindergarten through 4th grade are sharing those
They're
7
sharing
carts.
them. I
And
like the
right
idea,
now, 4
but
of those carts are just in 3rd and 4th grade classrooms in a 1-to-1. So
Yeah,
right
I
now
can see 3rd and 4th for sure. I mean, in my mind right now, but I'd love to do them all. I just, not sure what that digging's gonna be at the elementary. I think that's gonna cost us more than we think, because you're gonna have to get into a wall and
Well,
they don't know how they're gonna
they
do it, right?
supposedly had priced all of that in there when they priced it, but then you're still at the mercy of whoever's putting the bids out, or putting the bids in for it too, so.
I don't know.
I'd like to see us get rid of some of our unused technology or old stuff too, before we keep bringing more and more and more stuff.
Yeah,
But I mean, I am for it. I am for getting them, but like you said, we kind of have some unknowns too.
Well, could we maybe just get enough for
Third
third
and
and
fourth
fourth
this
grade?
Do
year.
like half.
Just
Would
do
the
part
price
of
still be
it?
the same, Heather, if we do half?
The price per unit, yeah.
I don't know, I guess to me, that makes sense, because you got 3 useful carts yet of the newer iPad.
Maybe we could just kind
That's
of
a,
start phasing
that's a
them
pretty
in.
good compromise, I think, of, I'm still proud that we're this size district and we have that technology. I don't care. You look around, I can name you many schools that don't even have that and are bigger than us, right? I mean,
Yes,
so
they're very
I think we're
Can they do
doing.
that testing? Because we're gonna try for the reading. Do you use those Chromebooks for the testing, or do you use something different?
either.
You can.
We
This
used,
year.
we used the Chromebooks for 5th and 6th grade, didn't we? They just used their personal devices. Yeah, they used their Chromebooks for 5th and 6th grade for A reading. And then we used a cart of MacBooks for the K4, the lower grades. And we just have them come into the library. We had the library set up, and one class would come in and test, and then the next class would come in and test. So.
I think that's a good idea.
I
if we
feel
could
good
do
about
that.
doing that. I think saves us some, but yet they still have new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what you're saying, the difference between that bigger charger. I mean, they are slower, because I have one of each at my house. Mike gets the slower.
Of course he does.
All right. Well,
So should we have a motion to approve to get enough for the 3rd and 4th grade? Can we
Yeah.
do that?
Mhm.
Okay.
okay. I'll make a motion to get enough Chromebooks for 3rd and 4th grade.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same. Motion carries.
Could including that, maybe 5 extra, so that we have enough for teachers and spares.
In that motion?
Yes.
That would be prettier.
Or about half the amount, basically,
Yeah.
of what we plan to get.
Yeah.
Do we have to change
We have to
anything,
do
or,
that.
okay.
Approve disposition of obsolete equipment.
Okay. We have all kinds of stuff down in Allison, those two portable buildings. It is just, hasn't been used for years. There's some old trophies down there. Those things, the Allison Public Library is gonna come through, and they're gonna look through, and they're going to display some of those things. We are going to leave one display case with the state trophies in the building there. We are gonna move the pictures that are all at the front. We're going to move them to one hallway, so all the old Allison Bristow stuff will be along one hallway down there. But that's going to be an elementary building for all intents and purposes there.
Could we bring them here instead of there?
Well, I've thought about that, and I've gotten comments both ways, and from the Allison people that I've talked to don't think we should do that because we're North Butler now, and don't think that we should be going back to that.
Because we do have a place where we have green
Right.
trophies right
Yep.
up here.
I was thinking it was all high school type trophies and have
Right,
them at
and that
high
was the
school.
discussion that I
If we were
had with
gonna
a couple
keep
of
them,
people,
but
was that, well, we could put up another trophy case, and we could have the green stuff here, the Allison stuff here, and then the
Mhm.
North Butler stuff all in one spot, and, yeah, and they think that we need to just move on and just be North
just
Butler.
have North Butler, no
Yep.
green or no Allison.
Well, the green is fine
It's
because
here,
that's
and
here.
Allison in that building.
And then the Allison
leave
stuff
it
will
in
remain
there.
in the public library and then in the one hallway down there.
I mean, there still is some school reunions of older
Yes.
folk.
Yeah,
I-
and they
That's the
like-
only
Go
thing
to
I can
Allison.
And
see.
they do,
Yeah.
they like to come through the building.
That's fine.
So, we don't wanna take it all out. and-
Yeah, okay.
But there's office stuff, it's really not any good. Basically, anything that's over a year, has sat for the last year and not been used, we figured we'd probably get rid of. The teachers were told several times that they could go look through it and take anything for their classroom, but there's not,
It's gross.
most of it's not usable stuff, and the things that we do have that are usable are like the stuff for the preschool and that. We have old technology, and like the old iPads that we won't be using, we could sell those. What we're thinking is we'd put together stuff for the citywide rummage sale in Allison, or any of the stuff that's up here. We might have a yard sale up here in Green, yeah, with the stuff that's at the elementary. The IMAX there in the elementary building here are so outdated, I don't think they're supported anymore, so we would just recycle those. There's a company that's contacted us out of Lincoln, Nebraska, actually, that would come pick it up, no cost to us or nothing, they take it, so. But like the old iPads and things like that, then those are things that we can sell, we can put a price on them, and then that money would go back into the fund that paid for them, which would be the 1 cent sales tax.
Is there any of that scrap stuff, or we pretty much took care of all that we would get money for, like metal and stuff? Or is there any of that we can?
Well, there's probably a lot of that we could do.
Well, I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of old desks and stuff.
I
Let's get a
didn't
hold of
type up.
somebody
We're
that gets.
looking,
Dumpsters.
we're gonna look at trying to update maybe a classroom or two a year with desks and stuff. Some of those desks, they have gum stuck to them, it's been there for 30 years. So, the custodians are asking, can we please update this? The teachers are asking, can we get desks that we can use to collaborate better, because these don't go together. And so we're looking at some different things, and we'll work within the limits of our budget to do those things. But we need to get rid of that stuff. Those 2 portable buildings need to come out of there before somebody falls through the floor and gets hurt. The steps are rusted through right now. Eric and I went in there here about a month ago, and I was worried I was gonna fall through. So those things need to come down. There's an old building down behind the bus barn down there that Pat's pretty much got emptied out, and just waiting for the ground to dry up enough for Eric to haul it out of there. But there's I think only one landfill around that we can haul it to, so we're waiting on that. But I think if you guys will allow us to, make a good call on those things, we'll get it set up, and I don't know if we price it or just put, free will offering or some of that stuff. I do know that there are some gym pads from Allison Bristow down there, and we will not put those on a yard sale. We will probably put those, bring them up to a basketball game and put them on a silent auction for like 3 games. They'd go nice in somebody's man cave or something.
Can the libraries use those iPads at all?
Maybe.
I
I
don't know.
mean, might be something to
I was
think
even
about or
thinking like
ask
the
about.
computers,
They're
like
gonna come-
people that
the
don't have a
people in
computer in their
Alice are gonna
house,
come
could they
through sometime
use
either
them
this
to
week
just
or
get on
next
the
week.
internet?
So we can ask them that.
Well,
But I
you know,
don't
it
know.
needs to go green to Allison and see if they can use them iPads. Maybe
Yeah.
the kids can,
And we can have a conversation with them and see if there's.
I mean,
another
to
that
me,
they'd
that's
like to
a
have.
donated thing
Yeah,
in my
Well,
mind.
if somebody
back to the
wants a
city.
computer,
Yeah.
Right.
why not? I mean, we could let those come in and take them, but if there's somebody out there that needs a computer
well, I
that,
think there's some older stuff that we can probably do that with, but those iMacs over there, they're not, they don't even support software anymore.
Yeah.
You'd be getting a big paperweight mostly.
Well, I mean, can you just kind of let us know as things are
Yeah,
being decided?
yeah, yep.
because the elementary still has a lot of usable material for the school in it.
Well, and a lot of that stuff we're just keeping there for lack of storage elsewhere.
Yeah, because there's probably thousands and thousands of dollars of paper.
Well, I like
Oh,
the,
yes,
yeah, and I like the
that's for
idea of the
sure.
metal. Let's get
Yeah.
money for the metals.
Okay. We can have Wilkins.
There's a
bring over
lot
another
of
dumpster, so-
table, like for, I don't know, you know, a library or
Yeah, nice.
daycare or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of nice little chairs and tables. There's,
Yeah.
I have a list. I didn't get it typed up
I
yet,
know
but there's lots of chairs and lots of tables.
last year, the daycares in Allison, when we had the sale down there, came over and bought a bunch of tables and chairs.
I don't like the idea of good, you know, free Goodwill donation. I
Okay.
just like a price on there.
Yeah.
I think, to me, check with the libraries and see if they can use the iPads. You're
I
not gonna
agree
get a
on
lot out of
iPads.
it. See what they want,
Right. We
you
can do
know,
that.
Will still benefit the students of North
Correct.
Butler that way.
Absolutely.
because I just don't think you're gonna get a whole lot out of them iPads.
Right.
I mean, I might be wrong. I don't know, Heather, what would you get out of a used iPad? What are you guessing?
Depends on where you take them.
50, 75.
No.
Them older ones, you'd probably be lucky to get 25.
Could I just say something?
Yep.
Could you offer to sell them like at registration? There might be parents that.
Yeah.
you know what I
Yes,
mean?
Yeah, that's what we're,
For
yeah,
25,
or
50
like the
bucks
arts.
and they come for
Absolutely.
registration
Yep.
and you have that for sale and.
I guess I'm just thinking it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's the city of Allison and the city of Green, if we can help the library out and the kids, and
Yep.
to me, that's a goodwill on our part as a school district.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not saying we gotta give them all to them, but, you know,
Yeah.
hey, if we
Right.
said, hey, you know, can you choose 5, or
Yeah.
if that's something we can decide on, I think that would be a good
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
So if you guys are okay with that and just approve that we can get rid of those things, we'll just get you a list as we go, and
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it's just too hard to make the list right
Okay.
now because the stuff's just stacked.
So we would need a motion to approve the disposition of obsolete equipment.
I'll make a motion to approve the disposition of obsolete equipment.
Second.
Second,
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed the same. Motion carries. Authorized payment of year-end bills.
This is just kind of a formality. It allows Shelley before the next board meeting to pay the bills out for the end of fiscal 16.
You don't wanna sit on them?
Were those those aren't on here right now, or are they on here right now?
No.
No.
No, it'll be anything that comes in between now and the end of June.
June 30th, I'll run a
Okay.
check cycle.
Okay.
Because since that's our last day of the fiscal year. I won't send them out until after our board meeting. Just-
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of the bills, year-end bills.
Second.
Second,
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed the same. Motion carries. And then 10A, Cardinal contracts.
I got a letter 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, from the DNR that they did not accept our proposal on clearing the elementary school here in Green. There's still some things that they want us to do. The biggest thing is checking the city water wall. It's within 1,000 feet of where the underground storage tank was. So there's some drilling and things that are yet to be done. I just got the contract from Cardinal on Friday morning, and they didn't want to add it to the agenda and redo the agenda and everything, so that's why we added it tonight. I forgot it's sitting on my desk, but it's, I think the proposal was for $5,600 or $5,700, and it's just, we need to approve that so we can move ahead with getting that cleaned up, doing the testing that needs to be done, and finishing up that property.
So that 5,600 is to do more tests?
It's to do more drilling and more testing that the DNR is requiring us to do.
What happens if we don't get cleared again, like, then we have to go through the process
there'd
again, or
be-
it doesn't cover, like,
It only covers the current amount of testing, so, we're in a slight disagreement with the DNR right now. Because there was some groundwater there when they tested last spring, the DNR is saying that it's not seasonal groundwater, that it is regular groundwater. There was no groundwater there when they drilled last fall, so that's why Cardinal stated that they believe it was seasonal groundwater. Well, if we drill now, we're gonna find all sorts of groundwater with all the rain we've had, so. So that they're going to require us to do that. We never tested the city well that's right over there, so we have to do that. And, you know, it's fairly minor, but they have to bring the drillers up again and drill some more into the bedrock. And, Galen had thought that with what we had done with some of the projects he'd done before, that they would be okay with what we'd done, and they're not convinced that there's not contamination there still.
are they gonna be there when we do this? The DNR?
Pardon?
Is
No,
somebody
the
from
DNR doesn't, no, they don't come.
Why?
So how do they know if there's, I mean, are they gonna
Because
come
they,
back again and
because
say
they
the
take
same
the
thing?
samples, and they take the way it looked, they take a reading of exactly where that sample came from, with GPS, and then that's all in the report, the amount of contamination, if any, is in the report. That report was like that thick, so.
Well, yeah, but what's to stop them from saying it's the same thing? Like the groundwater, is he, you know?
I thought it was clear, though. I'm not understanding, cause I thought it really
Because
didn't
the
have.
first one, because the first drilling that we took before we took the tank out showed the contamination, and that's the one that had the groundwater in it.
Mhm.
Because it was so wet last spring again, and so they're not convinced that it wasn't.
But then they
groundwater.
came back after that, didn't they, and
Mhm.
removed more,
Yep.
and then now we're doing it again?
Mhm.
But I mean, I
Yeah.
get that we have to,
Yes.
but there's no way that the DNR would come, we couldn't get them to come.
Nope, they're not gonna leave their office. It took them the full 90 days to get back to us, and after we had sent them a email asking that they hurry up because we're trying to dispose of the property.
Could we, I mean, when will they do this? Are they gonna do it now when we have a lot of water in the ground, or are they gonna wait till
I think-
maybe see if it
I
dries
think they'll
up?
probably wait a little bit to see if it dries up. But
I mean, really,
either way,
you're
I
looking
can't
at-
imagine there's going to be any contamination there. I mean, the last
looking
time they
at
drilled, there wasn't anything in the
3 to
dirt.
6 months before we know again.
Mhm. It'll take a couple weeks for the
So what
report to
happens
get
if it
done.
comes back negative again? I mean, at some point, can you just, I mean, I hate to say it, but what do we do? Do we take the building down? Do we?
We're kind of at the mercy, well, either way, we're still.
You
at
still
the
have to,
mercy.
you have
We
to still
Because
do
it's
the
still in
testing
the ground, right?
until that gets
It's
cleared.
still our property, we can't do anything with it till it's
Okay.
cleared.
What fund does the testing come out of?
Sales
Oh.
tax.
You don't have a
Mr.
choice.
What is it that they check for?
Fuel oil.
City guys come here though, you talk about the well and.
They don't check for fuel oil. I had that
Chlorine
discussion
and all
with Jim
that.
last fall.
Okay, cause you know, 1 month they come here and.
The only time they've checked the city walls for fuel oil was when the tanker dumped over here a few years back, is what Jim's told me, so.
Okay, cause I just knew every other month, you know, they do this side of town and that
Mhm.
side of town.
Yep.
If I could say something.
So really, we
That's
don't
a
have a
pain.
lot of other options.
Nope.
Can we wait to approve it till our next special meeting, just cause we don't have the thing? We never saw it. Or should we approve it without it?
You mean the amount?
Right, like
It's-
we haven't seen the actual,
I don't know if
I
the.
mean, we
can we
can't-
wait a
can.
week, or should we
It's
not
just
wait a week, or?
The groundwater's still gonna be there, it's fine.
Yep.
I guess I'd prefer to wait to approve it until we actually see I mean,
I can scan it and email it to you in the morning, but
it's up to the rest of
Yeah.
you, I guess.
I had it with my pile of stuff and I didn't get it in my bag.
If it's not gonna set us back too far, me personally, I'd rather wait to approve it.
That's fine, we can wait.
It'll probably
Okay
be
with
better
that.
to do it at the end of July when it dries out anyway.
Yep.
So do you wanna make a motion to table it?
Sure. I make a motion to table the Cardinal bid until our special meeting.
I'll second it.
We've sat on it this long, another week, this
Yeah.
isn't gonna hurt anything.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? opposed, the same.
I have a question on the building though, why it's just sitting there? I mean, could the communities use it? Like the kids play sports and stuff in the
The gym
gym?
is full of
It's full of stuff.
weights and desks and mats and,
Is it?
but if we got that cleaned out,
They've
It'd be
taken,
nice.
they've taken all sorts of stuff
Are we
from
in-
over here and stored it over there.
we're insuring it, right?
Yep,
We have to, I suppose.
yeah, but,
Electricity, water.
They're on,
Water's
but-
not on
Yes, it is.
everywhere though, is it?
yep,
Is
we
it?
left it on.
Okay.
Well, then the whole thing you gotta think about is in the bathrooms, then you have to have somebody come in and clean it and take care of the bathrooms and.
Yep.
It
I'm just saying,
involves a
like,
lot
if, like,
more.
the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts, I mean, then they would be responsible, I guess,
If we
on the
rented it
bathrooms
out.
and stuff, or, I don't know.
I think better just to leave it alone probably at this point.
Hopefully it'll go this next time.
Mark goes over there and checks it once a week and goes through there.
Human resources, resignations.
We have resignation from Marlene Landers as an associate and Morgan Steer from junior high basketball. And that'll make sense when we get to the next one.
Oh.
Motion to approve,
I'll make a motion to approve the resignations.
second.
Second?
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. And new contracts.
Morgan Steer for high school assistant girls basketball.
Any questions on that?
I
Have we
make-
found a head coach yet?
Nope.
We have a motion to approve her as the assistant coach.
I'll make a motion to approve Morgan Steer.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
We do have an ad in the paper for that position.
Motion carries.
The-
It
Okay.
should go in this week's paper.
And then subs, anything on that?
Nope.
No? Okay. And then we have administrators' reports.
I don't know who was gonna talk about Mr. Huff's report, he's not here tonight. I think with his staff, they kind of went through the year and did a year in review. I'm not exactly sure how he did that with his staff meeting, but they kind of went through and looked at the highlights of the school year. So you'll see those listed and they kind of departmentalize them or different categories, so to speak, of all the different things that occurred throughout the school year. So those are kind of listed and that's how I believe he did his report for the month, was kind of a year in review. I'm not gonna go through all of those unless you want me to. I'm afraid we'd be here till the 4th of July. It was a busy year, so if you read through there, they did a lot of great things.
And I'll forward that on to you.
Just roll up a
It's on
second,
there.
Oh,
will ya?
should. Okay, here.
It's
Will you,
uploaded. I
will you
think.
roll up
Yeah.
just a quick second?
Yep.
Just so we can state this, North Butler was the highest rated school in the top of Iowa Conference East Division, according to the Iowa School Rating System.
And that's the school report cards that we were talking about a little earlier.
So I just wanted that to be known.
Very good. So lots of things that they did and lots of different programs, so a lot to be proud of.
And then Dan did want me to talk about the other thing he had.
Sure, go right ahead. Thank you.
Mrs. Augie put together, she run the at-risk program. She put together results from 15-16. She had 15 high school at-risk students enrolled in, I think this is supposed to be 111 courses during the first semester of the 15-16 school year. The students passed and earned credits for 102 out of their 111 courses. They failed 9 out of the total 111 courses. 13 junior high at-risk students were enrolled in 87 courses during semester 1. The students passed 84 of their 87 courses. They failed 3 out of the total 87 courses. Students set goals with Mrs. Augie at the beginning of first quarter. The following are the results at the end of semester 1. No students didn't meet any of the goals.
Yeah, names.
You got
Yep,
names on there?
sorry. I'll scroll through that quick.
Yeah, either.
Then all of them met 1 or 2 of their goals. Credit recovery. I think I skipped semester 2, but that's okay. In credit recovery, we had students complete 70 total courses on Edgenuity during the 15-16 school year. 11 students completed 18 remedial courses on Edgenuity. 8 students completed 10 early graduation courses on Edgenuity. 8 students completed 10 scheduling conflict courses on Edgenuity. 27 students completed 32 elective courses on Edgenuity. 1 student completed 1 partial course with Mrs. Augie and the core instructor. Number of courses completed each year since Mrs. Augie became the online course credit recovery monitor. 13, 14, 20 classes completed, 14, 15, 39 classes completed, 15, 17, 15, 16, 70 classes completed. We had 3 students graduate this year that would not have graduated without this program. So this is part of our at-risk, where our at-risk money is going now. She's done a really nice job with that program, moving her over there, and her wanting to be in that program has really done a lot for our students. So she's done a nice job with it, and I commend her for the work that she does with that. I thought she had initials there. I didn't realize she had full names.
For the elementary, I just kind of did a recap of the month of May, much like I would in a typical board meeting, I guess. Our 5th and 6th graders traveled to Des Moines for their trip to the Capitol. In the past, I think that was done a little differently. I think the plan for 5th and 6th grade is to do this every other year. They took them together, and they're looking at maybe what to do differently next year, whether that's going to Dubuque, to the aquarium, or something different, or the aquatics museum or something. But this year they did the trip to the Capitol and to the Science Center. That trip is primarily sponsored by the PTO, which cost them thousands of dollars, and we're very grateful. Not only do they help pay for the busing, they paid for the McDonald's supper, they paid for treats on the bus, so they have food, they paid for their admission to the IMAX theater, and just a variety of different things. So it's kind of a pricey trip, but it was interesting talking to the kids when they got back, and then the next day I sat with them in the hall. It was a Wednesday early out the day after, and it was fun talking to them that, I kind of expected kids being kids to have the things that were their highlights be the silly things, but they were saying, no, the Capitol was their favorite part. And they were talking about the true things they learned. I was, kids, you expect them to say, oh, I liked McDonald's, but they really didn't. You could really feel the learning that they had gotten in different things. They were afraid the Science Museum might be a little under them academically, but they said, they were there the right amount of time, and the kids were very engaged and really enjoyed it. So it was a long day, and I know it's a long day for the teachers as well, and it was a great day for the kids of learning. The 3rd graders right in our backyard went to the Little Yellow Schoolhouse in Allison, and they experienced a day of prairie school living in the kind of the one-room schoolhouse. They had a great time. Bearcat relays for K4 had to be canceled due to weather, so they did that in PE. It ended up being a nice day, but they would have been up to their ankles in water had we been out there and doing it, because it had rained so much the day before. So I know it was kind of deceiving when the weather was actually kind of decent, but it was pretty soggy from the previous day. The 5th and 6th graders the following week had their Bearcat Rodeo field day, and that went very well. So a lot of planning goes into make those days happen, and they both went well. A thank you to the EMS teams from both Green and Allison for coming to speak to the pre-K to 2nd grade students. They bring the ambulances up, the kids get to get in there and see them, they get to lay on the cot and see the equipment, and I think that it helps alleviate a lot of fears should they ever be in a situation that they would need to, be riding in an ambulance or whatever. And then the Green and Ambulance EMS teams also brought information and bracelets and stuff for the upper elementary students as well, so that was great. Lots of the classes did field trips to local parks and stuff, which at the end of the year. May 20th, the 3rd graders celebrated Grandparents' Day. That was an event that was a tradition at Allison Elementary, which Green Elementary, as far as I know, didn't do it. Maybe they did years before and I'm just unaware. But in changing traditions a little bit and making it work so that everybody would fit, we knew that we could not do that K6. There wouldn't be parking, there wouldn't be room in the building, it would violate fire code by the time we got everybody in there. We had a nice crowd for 3rd grade. It was a full auditorium, the classrooms were full, and the 3rd graders were really excited about it. They did a program, they sang, they played their recorders that they'd been doing in music class. They did some readers theater pieces, and then they also went back to their classrooms and did some activities. So we plan to make that a 3rd grade tradition. So it'll be something that the 3rd grade classes will look forward to each year. So, and we got a lot of positive reviews, and they had treats and stuff in the cafeteria as well. So 6th grade graduation was one of the last days of school. That was a nice event. The 5th and 6th grade did a really nice job planning that. It was a very nice ceremony, well attended. And then a lot of classrooms had end of the year celebrations in their classrooms or with some of their parents as well. So it was a nice end of the year. So now we're here at summer 2016. Summer band lessons have started for our kiddos beginning band. The summer lunch program is up and running at Allison. Nice to see kids in the building. We will be having special education summer school, and that is for kiddos on IEPs that qualify according to their IEP needs. So if you hear we're having summer school, this year we are, but it's not for everybody, it's just if their special education needs constitute that they need some year-round schooling. And that will start after the 4th of July. It'll start actually July 11th and run for 4 weeks, Monday through Thursday, and so it will end August 4th. Other than that, we're preparing for the 2016-17 school year. Lots to do to get ready for that. And then there's just a lot of trainings and state reporting that occurs in the summer. So that's what's keeping us busy during the day right now. So
Thank you, Mrs. Whitaker.
yeah, you're welcome.
And mine is kind of a summary similar to what Mr. Huff wrote. It's more of a year in review, so I won't read the whole thing to you. We're very excited about the curriculum materials. Training for the elementary will be on August 2nd, and then for the secondary teachers will be during Wednesday in service. Professional development this year was around technology. Since we've invested so much money into technology, we want to make sure that our teachers are using it and using it well. And we try to gauge that with a clarity survey to evaluate and monitor how well we're doing. And so this year the teachers took a class called Teaching with Technology, Rising to the Challenges, and then the learning was designed around the Iowa teaching standards and integrating technology. Next year we're looking forward to in the elementary working on whole group literacy instructions, where we feel like we need to devote most of our time since we're getting new curriculum materials and we really want to increase our reading scores. Working on that class-wide intervention and making sure that we're aligned to the standards. In the secondary level, we're going to work on standards alignment again, and we're going to be taking a look at our grading practices and to make sure that they're fair and consistent. I skipped a section there about the TLC. That was a big project that we undertook during the year. Training starts for them this week. Wednesday, Thursday will be our TLC training for our instructional coaches. They'll be going to Cedar Falls with the guru Diane Sweeney for a couple of days of really good training for them. We're excited about that. And our PLC team leaders will be going in October to attend the PLC training. Summary of the technology projects that will happen over the summer. That's one of the more recent projects that you improved to increase the wireless speed. They should be starting that this week or next. They'll start the wiring and then get to the bigger pieces where they replace the servers. And then down below is just a list of the grants that we've gotten, probably not all inclusive this year. The most recent ones being the art grants. Joe Purdy and Gordy Smith got about between $9,000 and $10,000 to purchase some art materials. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Holmes.
Don't let Heather fool you. She's done a lot of work on those grants, so thank you for your work on those. And we'll continue to work on some of that. Other than what I sent out the other day, Friday night, as I told somebody earlier, the elementary building got hit by lightning. I went over to check Saturday morning because I was called and told that somebody had seen sparks coming off the building, and the phone system was down. The phone on the elementary secretary's desk was ringing off the hook, and there's no dial tone, so they just told me to unplug it, and they'd send somebody this morning, and they were there early this morning and got that up. The fire alarm board was dinging and going off, and I figured out how to reset that, so that was good. And then the internet was down, and Heather contacted TC Networks, and they worked remotely yesterday to get that up. And our air conditioner's down, and it was miserable in there today. Amy's taking applications for the elementary at-risk position. That's kind of the one that washed out after we moved everybody around after the opening for the TLC for the third grade position. So we'll be, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, have somebody for that position. The other day, Shelley and I ordered a new time clock system for the district. We've been having a lot of problems with the old slide your hand in deal, and this one will allow them to log in, clock in with the computer or their cell phone once they get to our access points. And we'll have a pin pad in the staff lounge in both buildings. So it'll be a lot easier, a lot more time compliant for those people that have to punch in daily. Tomorrow night, I have a meeting with a group of people at 6 o'clock in Allison on the elementary playground. Our old wood playground's starting to show its age. They supposedly have a 20-year life expectancy. That one was installed in 1993. We got a quote on doing some work on it this spring, which would include scraping the paint and resealing it and that bid was over $20,000. And then we saw an article in the newspaper down in Muscatine, one of the elementary schools down there is tearing theirs down now, with no plans to replace it at this time, hoping they can replace it in the next couple of years. We got some information from the guy that's in charge of parks in Waverly, and their Kids Kingdom over there had 37 violations when they had it inspected. And he sent us some pictures of that. The group that I'm meeting with tomorrow night has been out on ours and took some pictures of things that need done. So we're gonna look at it, talk about it, and see what avenues we have. But I think spending $20,000 every year or every other year to reseal that and resurface things is kind of crazy. So one of the things that we can look at would be the possibility of taking it out and replacing it. Playgrounds are expensive, so that would be something that we'd work on getting grants, maybe do something like we did up here with athletic facilities where we can get a committee together to raise some money or things like that. And then we could work on the athletic fields down there, the Little League fields and that all at the same time. We do have a set of lights that we're taking out on the Little League field right now. The light poles are starting to lean. Every time it rains, they lean a little bit more, and especially if the wind blows. So the power's been unhooked to those two poles, and they're going to come out as soon as the REC can get out there with a truck to pull them out. The ground's been too soft.
Do we have a playground equipment in here that we could just move over there and use?
A little bit that we might be able to, but you start pulling that stuff up, and then you got to beat all the cement off it and all that stuff too. And right now, that's all attached, so that's something that we'd have to discuss with the lawyer, and because that's part of the real estate at this point. So.
What's a better thing like to get your playground equipment out of, like metal, or I mean?
Yeah, metal and plastic, is what everything is. And it'd be something where, if we're going to do it, we'd need to do something like we did with the preschool surface and do the rubber tiles and that, so it's safer.
What was the life expectancy?
It's been there a
years.
long time. It's been there since '93.
Yep. So.
Done good at sealing it,
Yep.
but I mean, it's
But
old.
we had a student here probably about the second week or third week of May that had got a sliver that went clear down to the bone and had to have it surgically removed. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So.
And we get lots of slivers.
Yes.
I mean, it's not daily by any means, but it's
I get it.
regularly.
I mean, it's.
And I'm, not beating around the bush. A playground is going to be a big expense if that's something that we delve into. So it's going to be something we're going to have to ask the community to help with and write grants, because it's that's not an expense that we've even thought about taking on. at
And
this
that would
point,
come
so.
out of the Pepler ones.
If we pay for any of it, yeah. So, but I mean, if we can raise $250,000 for an athletic complex, I don't see why we can't do the same for our elementary kids.
Can I just add something quick? When I
Sure.
was over on the playground, on the wood tiles around, I don't know if it was bars or something, when I was over there for the 5th and 6th grade rodeo that day. There's pieces, I don't know if there were bars in those wood pieces, tiles around there before, but they were sticking up out of there. I mean,
There's a lot of work that needs to be
yeah,
done.
yeah, I was just, I
Yep.
assumed somebody was aware of that, but
Right.
there's quite a few of them just in that one little section, and
Mm.
they're kinda edged,
Yep.
uneven.
So that's something that we're looking at, and hopefully we'll be able to make some progress with some ideas on that. At least get something started tomorrow night. So, you didn't like to hear that, did you? You plugged your ears?
6 o'clock, you said?
6 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm meeting with them.
Okay.
And I don't remember what the guys' names were. Mrs. Shima came and asked me to meet with them, because she was on the board that put that together, so. One of the guys
You mean
works.
the wooden one?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the guys works for an
I
architect
don't know
firm.
if I can, I was thinking
out
I
of
might
Cedar
try to
Rapids,
make
so.
it, but I don't know if, I can't promise I can make it, but. I mean, would that be okay if we
Yeah, I
can?
don't care.
Okay.
That's all I got. Oh, no, it's not. One more thing. I did have finally got the opportunity to quit playing phone tag with the lawyer today. So, we'll be offering bus contracts at the special meeting.
Okay.
Shelley and I are working on getting that all
Okay.
fine tuned, and it'll
And
just be a
then-
matter of what we decide pay scale's gonna be.
Did we get the classified list? Are we still working on that too? You know how, that special list that we had that was an activity driver makes this and
Oh,
that.
the pay scale
th-
thing?
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
are we still working on that yet? That won't be at the next meeting, or is that done as well, or? we didn't-
Confused.
Yeah.
So is that just for bus drivers?
No, that was for everybody.
It's
You're talking about
everybody,
in the-
cause we're gonna update that.
Was it in the paper?
pay
Oh.
scale and put
Yeah.
it in the classified
paper?
handbook,
Yeah.
which we
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
approved the
Yeah.
classified
Yeah.
handbook yet
Right.
No,
either.
that's not done yet.
Okay,
We'll have to do all that at
But
the
yeah.
same time, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll do all
Okay.
that in the next meeting. We'll give
can
you
you
what we have.
upload,
Yeah.
well, if it's the same as before, but like the new, can you upload that sometime, whenever you have it, the new contract for,
Yes.
so we
Yeah.
can see
I'm
it?
stealing it from somebody.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, one of our neighbors had a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Cause we already have the list that you made up of the
And-
districts
and
nearby.
just so you're aware, that'll be all the current bus drivers.
Can we have a motion to approve the administrator's reports?
I'll make a motion to approve administrator reports.
In a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. And a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
You
Oh, my
did.
reflection. Thank you to all the staff members that are here. Kim, Amanda,
You get to sign
Heather,
what?
Mrs. Wedeking.
I do?
I said Mrs.
Yeah.
Holmes, sorry.
Aaron comes back on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's
Mr.
not
Foster.
here.
Mrs. Bramer. Thank you for your hard work this past year, driving for us.
So when is the special meeting? You don't know yet?
No,
It's gonna be tough to get it in with all our agendas.
yes.